Close your eyes and drift into a peaceful dream.
They call him the Sunrise Shadow, a legend whispered on the encrypted networks of the underworld, but he's never seen. An assassin whose work begins and ends with the first light of day, who constantly changes his appearance and weapon. For 30 years, his blade has been the final punctuation mark in stories of power, greed, and betrayal. But every story has an end. This is his. The notification arrived as it always did, a single, anonymous pulse on his secured datapad. No details, just a location and the usual payment confirmation, already settled in untraceable crypto. He moved through the pre-dawn city like a phantom. No high-speed chases, no frantic rooftop sprints, just the soft, rhythmic tap of his boots on the damp pavement. A distant maglev train hummed its lonely song, a counterpoint to the city's slow awakening. The sky was shifting from inky black to a deep, bruised purple. The air was cool, carrying the scent of rain-washed streets and the faint aroma of synthetic cherry blossoms from the park below. He wasn't just walking to a job, he was walking through his own memories. Each street corner, each flickering holographic ad, a ghost of a past life, a past target. He remembered his first contract, a jittery, low-level data courier in a grimy noodle bar in the Undercity. His hands had trembled then, not from fear, but from the weight of the choice. Over the years, that trembling had vanished, replaced by a cold, quiet efficiency. He became a tool, a function. The sunrise wasn't just his calling card, it was his ritual. A promise that with every new day, a certain kind of darkness would be erased. He wondered if he'd been erasing darkness or just creating a different kind. The penthouse was a fortress of glass and smart steel, but every fortress has a flaw, a breath it must take. He found his service conduit humming with the building's lifeblood. The entry was silent, a ghost slipping through the walls. Inside, the opulence was staggering. Minimalist furniture, priceless artifacts from a forgotten era, and a single, breathtaking wall of glass that faced the east. And there, sitting in a simple chair, was his target. An old man, frail and alone, staring out at the approaching dawn. The man didn't turn. "I've been expecting you," he said, his voice calm, resigned. "They said you only come with the sun." The assassin remained in the shadows, his weapon a cold weight in his hand. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. There was no struggle, no fear, just a quiet acceptance that felt more profound than any battle. 30 years, the old man continued, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "I've built all this, watched this city grow, watched it change, and for what? To end up here, waiting for a shadow to claim me." He finally turned, his eyes finding the assassin in the gloom. "Tell me, Shadow, when you look at the sunrise, what do you see?" The question hung in the air, a silent challenge. For the first time in his career, the assassin hesitated. He had never considered it. The sunrise was a clock, a signal, a backdrop. It was never the main event. He looked past the old man, toward the window. The first brilliant sliver of gold was just beginning to crest the horizon, painting the clouds in hues of orange and pink. The light poured into every room, soft and gentle, chasing away the last of the night's shadows. He saw it then, not a signal, not a timer. He saw a new day, a promise. He lowered his weapon. The mission was over, but not in the way he had planned. He turned and walked away, the soft tap of his boots the only sound. The old man was left alone with his empire, his regrets, and the most beautiful sunrise he had ever seen. The sunrise shadow vanished back into the city, but this time he wasn't looking for his next target. He was just walking toward the light. A new day had begun for everyone. If you enjoyed this journey into a different kind of future, consider subscribing for more stories from the worlds we imagine. See you next time. Close your eyes. Let the dream do the rest.